Alright, what's up everybody? This is Fritzy and I'm just gonna talk and play a game. So the game I'm playing is Mario Kart 8 for the Switch. The Mario Kart 8 actually came out for the Wii U a number of years ago, but I guess they ported it to the Switch because nobody bought the Wii U, and it's a really decent game. So why am I playing this game? Well, actually, I've been playing this game for years and years, probably since, I want to say 2014. Yeah, 2014 when the game actually came out on the Wii U, so I have a copy of it on the Wii U. But there's a little sort of city competition that some bar is holding, and I thought it would be a fun idea to actually play in a competition. I've never actually done that other than just doing some online racing multiplayer and whatnot. So right now I'm pretty rusty. I haven't actually played in a while, but I'm I'm just trying to prepare myself because this competition is in about a month at the end of October. So right now I am playing in the cloud course. I can't remember the name. It's actually a favorite of mine, but it's a bit of a tricky one. So yeah, just so you know, this is not me showing off any specific gamer skill. I am incredibly rusty with this game. I've gotten really good with this game over the years, but it's been quite a while since I've played it. A lot of it is kind of like riding a bike, but even if you haven't rid a bike in years and you start, you're not going to be as skilled as you were if you rode a bike every day. I remember as a kid, I used to be able to ride a bike, turn corners with no hands on the handlebars, which was pretty dope. I definitely cannot do that anymore. But I'm managing to keep second place. Now, here's the thing with this game. When you're playing online, well, online with anybody, people are a lot better than the computer. So if you've ever played this game that's just sort of the Grand Prix against the computers, you might find that you struggle a little bit here or there with, you'll typically have a rival kind of character that goes against you, but it's more just rubber banding. So what I mean by that is the game is programmed to have one rival character kind of just speed up and always be close to you. So it's not very realistic necessarily. Whereas this, ooh, that was a bit rough. This is actual skilled players. So if I get knocked back, it's because I screwed up somehow. Now this game is set up with a lot of random elements, but I'd say at least when you're playing, ooh, I should have known to kind of move over to the side. I would say 98% of the time, the randomness, if you are skilled enough, should not truly affect you. That most of the time, when you get knocked back, it is your mistake. You could have done better in some way or another. Whether you know what mistake that is or not, that's sort of up to you to discern. Okay, so that was round one. Fifth place is actually not bad. I'm still winning some points. The hope is by the end of the month, I can consistently get second or first place. Because I mean, I'm only going against people in my own city, and it's just for a gift certificate. It's like $300 of just to buy food or drinks at this bar. But I feel like if it's just in the city, I actually have a chance to place. There's a prize for third place, which I think is just like a $50 gift certificate, and second place is like $100 or $150. It's not bad. I think it's just I have very much been scared to record myself playing games, even though I have a gaming sort of series. Showing it live, I get a bit anxious for sure. So going out, it's I talk about this in my other series of talking to myself. I get a bit scared of failure and whatnot, so I kind of just hide away. This is kind of me going out and practicing and putting this out for hopefully someone's entertainment, and if not, then it's just to kind of build up my own personal confidence. Okay, so race number 2. I'll probably do 4 of these. And the trick is to always hit the gas right on 2, or right at the end of 2 as you kind of see it fade away. Some of you, if you're not familiar with Mario Kart, you might be wondering what is the point of the coins. The coins are actually quite useful. One, they get every time you grab a coin, it gives you just the slightest sort of speed boost. And second is every coin you get increases your top speed, which top speed is huge with this type of game, where milliseconds matter so much. So some of these corners are a bit tight, but it's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to use my piranha guy to get my piranha item. Kind of sends me ahead and hurts others, which is pretty fun. One thing to note, again, for people who are unfamiliar with this series is if you're finding yourself in close to first or second place and you're like wondering why you're not getting any of the good items, it's because it's trying to balance out the game. So if you're already in first place, you're already skilled enough to be high up. So I think the only items you'll ever get are coins, which gives you an extra boost of 3 coins. You get a red shell on occasion. Actually, you might not. You get blue shells, which blue shells you actually have to have good aim to hit other characters, and bananas. So they're not the best items in the game. I'd still say they're highly useful, but they're not amazing. And then you see all these other crazy items. There's the blue shell that guarantee hits first place player. You have the thunder, which kind of knocks everybody out, and so on and so forth. But you can only get those when you're basically in the back. Essentially, it's to help you get yourself back into the game, so you're not so far behind that you just like give up. It's always kind of what I liked about these type of games, is the random element can actually help, and if you're skilled and you understand the sort of the complexities of all the items and where you'll get those items based on your place, you can actually get really good at this game. Okay, so that was round 2. Not that I'm doing any specific round, but I want to pick Mario Circuit. That sounds like a fun one. Another cool thing about this is, even though I'm picking a course, it gets randomized. I think that's pretty standard for most multiplayer games, where you can pick different courses. But anyway, so the character I always play is Shy Guy. He's just been my dude since I got this game. Years ago, with all the other Mario Karts, I used to like to play as Yoshi, and I feel like Yoshi's probably a similar character, but I just really jive with this Shy Guy. I give him the black coat, and he just goes. I always choose the same vehicle, which is, I guess you'll see. But I memorized how he drifts. The way my Shy Guy character in his cart drifts around the corners is just perfect for sort of my style of play. Also, it looks fucking awesome, which is important. You gotta look good, I think. Okay, going into round 2. So one thing that a lot of people who are new to these games don't understand is they're not like your typical racing simulator, where you have all these realistic things happening. And the name of the game, besides the items, and actually the items I'd say are not as important. biggest, most important part of this game is actually mastering drifts around corners. If you cannot master the drifts around the corners, it doesn't matter what items you get. You can blame the fact that you lost on the randomization, the randomness of the items you were given, but it won't matter. Like, you have to get good at these drifts, and you kind of, it's not really memorizing it, though I guess after you've played the same course over and over, you sort of do. You just kind of get a natural feel for when to hit it. So what's important about the drift? One, you're not really slowing down. Two, as you drift, you watch the tires kind of grind, and then as it builds up, you'll see a little bit of blue there. Maybe I'll do it a little bit longer. It's now orange. You saw the guy ahead, it turned purple. So that basically he had the strongest sort of boost for himself. So you do want to get that, but the other thing you have to master is then how do you drift around a corner nicely, get an awesome boost, while at the same time maintaining control. That's the trick for this game. You know, because some of these turns, this one is an easier course, so it's not that hard to sort of navigate around these corners. I don't know why I just like threw that shell. Again, I'm a bit rusty. I'm just like doing random things. Ooh, nice. I got the double. Okay, so nice thing with the banana is, I don't know if you just saw what I did there, but I held it behind my back for a quick second, and someone threw a red shell at me, and I was able to block it and not get knocked out. You can also do that with the green shell and red shell. It's probably one of the most important strategies, especially as you're getting further on. Now, when you're playing just solo by yourself, you can just get away with kind of holding something behind your back, because it's, once you sort of master the corners, it's almost guaranteed you're going to stay at the front, because the computers are not that smart, other than sort of the rubber banding of having a rival kind of match you. But with computer players, there's a lot more aggression. So then there's a lot more strategy on, do you hold this item behind your back and use it as a shield, or do you play a little bit more aggressively and try to go for the person in front of you? Because sometimes that person is so far ahead that if you don't hit them, you're never going to catch up. But again, if you throw it, you're leaving yourself open, and so it's a bit of a gamble you take. I am not perfect at that, but I feel like for the most part I have decent judgment, especially the more I play. Yes, I love F-Zero levels. I really feel like they should make an F-Zero game at some point. If you're unfamiliar with F-Zero, it's just a really fast kind of speed racing game. It was really popular for the GameCube, Nintendo 64, and Super Nintendo. Really, really hard though. Yeah, really tight corners. So, it's funny, I was never particularly great at Mario Kart for years, not until Mario Kart 8. I was never like, oh boy, I can't wait for this game. Kind of how I learned to get decent is I was living in Japan at the time, and I had no other system with me, and I had no TV. I had no TV in my room. So all I had for a year, I was living in Japan for a year, was my DS. And don't get me wrong, I like portable systems, but they're just not particularly for me. I like games like this a little bit more. A lot of DS games, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but especially before the nicer systems came out, the games, I don't want to use the word, felt like they were mobile games, but they just didn't feel as good to me. I feel like some people are going to really disagree with me, but whatever, it's my preference. So anyways, my brother decided, he's like, Phil, I think you should get a 3DS. So I purchased one, he shipped it to me, and it came with Mario Kart. And still, I didn't have a TV, but with the or sorry, not 3DS, but got a Wii U. And the thing with the Wii U is you could play the entirety of the game on the gamepad. So I just got really good at this game. And at the time, I was in a weird relationship or something, and I stopped. I was in this weird controlling relationship with this girl, and she would always be like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And almost as a protest, like, she'd be like, you need to learn more Japanese, you need to blah, blah, blah. And almost as a protest, I was like, you know what's a better idea? How about I just learn to get good at Mario Kart? So I did. I would spend hours and hours. I would just come home from work and I would just sit and I would play. And then, you know, occasionally I would listen to other like podcasts and other things like that. Or I'd listen to whole albums of whatever band I was listening to at the time, and I'd just play this game on repeat. You know, and the single player quickly gets boring once you get through it really quickly and you start playing online. And, you know, of course, you realize how much you kind of suck. That's always the case. Ooh, I'm not doing very well. I think... Okay, you know what? I'm going to do one more round. That was really embarrassing. But, yeah, I would just constantly play nonstop. The nice thing about Japan is it's so convenient to just go out to the store and just get a couple beer. And so there was like a 7-Eleven. Yeah, Yoshi's Valley. That's the one I want to do. And I would just get up and I would buy like 4 or 5 of these tall cans of beer, because you don't really buy packs of beer. And I would just sit there, and in between sort of these spots, I would just kind of drink. And man, I'd start at like 8 at night, and it would be like 2 a.m. in the morning until I basically pass out from drinking so much, playing Mario Kart. It was a good time. And I came home, and then other friends wanted to play Mario Kart, and they're like, what the hell? Because I was in my small group of friends, I was really good. And though I still prefer playing online. I think when you play online, it really keeps you humble. You don't think that you're the greatest. Though it's fun to improve. I love going against other people who have really pushed themselves as well. Okay, so this will be my final match. I'm not a big fan of this one. I know it's a favorite for others. It's a smaller track where instead of you going around 3 times, I believe you go around this track 8 times. And if you kind of look in the corner of the size of this track, you'll understand why it's so, why there's so many laps. I guess the one cool thing with this track, though, is in terms of being aggressive and battling people, oh boy, there's so much opportunity because everybody's just everywhere. It's chaotic. So in terms of learning how to use the items, especially the shells, where you're trying to aim at people specifically, this is a great opportunity to learn how to do such things. I can't seem to get into first place. That person is way ahead of me. Shit. And see, sometimes even when you do have a shell behind you, ooh, I don't know if I can get ahead. I think I just lost focus. Let's see if I can actually place in a reasonable spot. I'm definitely not getting first or second, but that's okay. It's always important to take these corners really, really tightly. Yeek. Okay, 5th place. Okay, respectable. It's not terrible, but I got a few points for Fritzy. Anyway, thanks for joining me. That was kind of fun. Just sharing why I like this game, what's fun about this game. And give it a thumbs up if you enjoy. And hope you have a great day. Peace.